my friends, welcome back or welcome to my channel. We have a really fun afternoon planned. So we are at none other than Barnes & Noble. I'm looking at it right now in the distance. It's beckoning us over to just spend some money on books. And I don't really have a plan for today. There's actually one book I'm looking to pick up and I haven't been able to get it anywhere locally. So my Barnes is about 40 minutes away from where I live. And that is a new romantasy, or I think some people are calling it a dystopian-asy. Like there's no word for that yet, but I'm hearing a lot of things about it. So I'm gonna read that and pick it up. And then we're just gonna see where it takes us. I love grabbing a drink and I might grab a little something to eat too. And then we're just gonna browse the shelves together. I love all genres. I am someone who definitely does not go into Barnes and only stays in one area. I browse everywhere because truly I just love all types of books. So spend the afternoon with me at Barnes and let me know in the comments, are there any recent books that you've picked up? Doesn't have to be Barnes & Noble, whether it's an independent bookshop, used bookshop. Are there any books that you just bought and are excited to read? But I will see you guys inside. Let me just scooch on up in here. All right, so we've made it back home. I made it all of 2 seconds before I crashed and took a nap. Book shopping is hard work, y'all. Like, it's hard work. Actually, it was just really hot outside and I needed a nap for like half an hour, and I got in my cozies. So now I am all ready to do a book haul. And first off, before we get into that, I was looking back at the footage from Barnes, and the way like a third of the footage is in slow motion. All right, it's not a huge amount, but like there's a good handful that somehow ended up in like that 2x slow motion speed. And it's all right. I think I can still use some of it, but some of the footage is so ridiculous because like there's moments where it's giving red carpet glam bot. And yeah, I guess that's fine. But anyway, let's get into what I got. So I got a mixture of things. I didn't go overboard today. We were okay. The people there are so, so lovely. Like, I don't know what it is about this Barnes, but every single person I have ever encountered is so helpful, so lovely. I always talk with a few of them every time I go, and we talk about what books we're reading, and I always just get a lot of hype from whoever checks me out at the counter, and they're just the best people. The book community, you guys, like, is just so good. Yeah, I love my Barnes & Noble. But I did go in for one specific book. And that book is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. You guys, this was the last one there. They had to like go in the back and get it for me. They were so sweet. They spent like 10 minutes like trying to get one, and I am so excited they got it because this is actually one of the reads for a vlog I'm doing, and I'm really excited to read this. There has been a lot of controversy around this in the book community, and like maybe not controversy, but just really opposing opinions. There's some people who say this is the best thing ever. There's some people who think it's absolute trash. I just am excited to form an opinion on my own. Another point of topic with this book is people are saying it's not romantasy, it's like dystopian romance fantasy. So like dystopia-y. I don't know what the word is for it, but I just really want to form my own opinion. And y'all, I haven't even read the synopsis of this, so let's do that together. So on the back it says, "My name is Wren Darlington." I love the name Wren. "I've been hiding who I am my entire life. Today will be no different." Okay, give us nothing. Have no idea what that means. That is a little bit, it's like a pet peeve of mine when these books, they write like really ambiguous, basic taglines on the front or back of these books, and like it gives us no context. That tells me nothing. You're hiding who you are. What does that mean to me? I don't know anything about the plot. But okay, now we're getting somewhere. Let's read this. In the first book of a sizzling dystopian romance series. Okay. Psychic gifts are a death sentence, and there are rules to survival. Trust no one. Lie to everyone. And whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. Here we go. But I also love it, okay? Trust no one. Wren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her psychic abilities and aiding the rebel uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified, capital M, means certain death, and Wren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy and she's forced to join Silver Block, their most elite training program, she's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. Okay, so I see why there are comparisons to Divergent. And then it says, but training for Silver Block can be deadly, especially when you're harboring dangerous secrets and living in close quarters with everyone who wants you dead. As the stakes grow ever higher, Ren must prove herself, but that's easier said than done when your commanding officer, here we go, is the ruthless and infuriatingly irresistible Cross Redden. Cross Redden, who doesn't miss anything when it comes to her. And as war rages between mods like her and those who aim to destroy them, Ren must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect herself and how much of the continent is worth saving. Okay, okay, here's my thoughts initially. Like, I'm not hooked by this plot. I'm really not. I love a good dystopian book plotline, and so far there's nothing that seems very unique about this. I feel like what this is gonna be is it's gonna be a romantasy in terms of the structure. Like, she's a little not like the other girls, and there's this bigger mission that she's gonna see through, and then a hot man's gonna get in the way and cloud her judgment, but then eventually they'll come to an understanding where they can have the love and the mission at the same time, and then it's all gonna work out. And you guys, I promise, I love romantasy. It's just fun too. It's fun to hate on it a little bit. But there's nothing about this that is intriguing to me so far, but people love this. They say it's a great time, so I'm holding out faith with it, and I'm excited to read it. Also, those silver end pages are pretty fun. All right, so the next book I got is The Sirens by Amelia Hart. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. These end pages made the decision for me, okay? It made the decision for me. Like, I know we're in an end page epidemic right now, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about that, but I have ADHD, which means if something gives me dopamine, I'm gonna like it, and I'm gonna hold on to that thing for dear life. So, like, give me the end pages. As far as I'm concerned, I'm okay with that. I have heard mixed feelings about this. I love merpeople. I love stories about mermaids. To be very honest, I am like holding out for a series that does the mermaid trope justice. The concept of sirens and mermaids, I think, is so ethereal and kind of sexy and mystical. And I have yet to read a fantasy novel or just any book in general that does that genre or theme justice. And I've heard mixed things about this one. I know Amelia Hart wrote Wayward, which I think I started it and I never finished it. It wasn't bad. It was a wrong place, wrong time thing. So I am excited to give this a try, but I don't think I have super high expectations for it. I mean, most mermaid siren books I've read have been a little fluffy, and it's really geared towards YA. Like, damn it, I just want to read an adult fantasy series that actually treats sirens as the deadly entity that they are. It's not a light topic, sirens, you know? Like, it is a deep, disturbing concept. There's a lot of lore there, and I just want to read a series that does that justice. But regardless, I'm excited to read this. I'm thinking in the summertime, I'd love to do a vlog together where we just read mermaid books for a week. So if you know of a book or a series that centers around sirens or mermaids and you think it's really good and it's not like super fluffy, or if it is fluffy and it's good and you love it, let me know down below, because I am on the hunt for books with mermaids that are good. Okay, so the next one I got was actually the coffee shop Starbucks pick. So if you didn't know, every month at Barnes & Noble, I think it's every month, when you are a member, I don't know if you have to be a member, but for like $5, you can get a book at the front if you get a drink. And I got Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. And so Stephen Graham Jones is a really hot topic in my household right now. Taylor loves Stephen Graham Jones, and he's really focused on reading those books. And I want to give him a try because I love horror authors. I have a lot of respect for him as a writer and things I've heard. So I am excited to have this. It's very small, so I don't know if this is a short story or a novella, but the cover is really, really cool. It's like this small little house with like a tetherball in front of it. And Paul Tremblay said, emotionally raw, disturbing, creepy, and brilliant. So I'm very intrigued. I'll read you guys the back so we can see what it's about. I have no idea. Times have been tough for 12-year-old Junior, his mom, and especially for his younger brother, Dino. I feel like those are very quintessential horror book boy names, like Junior and Dino. I have no problem with that. Just, yeah, if I think something, I'm gonna have to tell you about it. When his dad makes a surprise visit late one night, Junior is desperate to make him part of their family again. The only problem is Dad drowned 8 years ago, and bringing back the dead always comes at a cost. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Very Pet Sematary, very morbid. I'm excited. Oh, it's very short. It's 100 pages, very big words. Yeah, I'm excited to have that. That's a fun one. And I don't often see, maybe I'm just wrong about this, but I don't often see the book pick for like the coffee shop Starbucks reads as a horror. So this is so fun. Okay, so the next ones I got are a few classics. And if you've been watching my recent videos, the signature classics that are out right now are so pretty. Who's ever designing them needs a raise because they are gorgeous. And I want to collect as many of them as I can because I am in my classics era. I really want to devote myself to reading them and picking them apart as much as I can because I really enjoy it. So I picked up a few of the signature editions that are so pretty. And the first one I did was Dracula. Okay, so Dracula is again one of those classics that I've read a long time ago when I was young, and I don't remember anything about it. I actually love a vampire setting, but not like this type of vampire, like this type of vampire. That is my aesthetic. In terms of the vibes I love, like I love everything about it. There are just some like 90s, early 2000s movies that I think did something to me in childhood. You've got Interview with a Vampire, even Van Helsing. There was just a certain aesthetic to that I really enjoyed. And then, you know, The Little Vampire, like there's just, I love the gothic, creepy lore behind Dracula. It's just so gorgeous. And I also have a really gorgeous edition of Carmilla, which there's a lot of lore behind that classic as well. And so I think it'd be really fun to do a vampire vlog around the fall where we read vampire classics or just vampire books. There's actually some that are being released this year that I'd love to do a video on in the fall. I'm trying to remember the name of that book, but I'm gonna put it right here. This is another one I'm really excited for. I wanna say it's a queer vampire horror. But we'll talk more about that because that's definitely on my TBR. But this edition, look at that. There's like that castle with the red hues and it's very creepy. You've got the little bat up here, just gorgeous. And I will say most copies of Dracula I've seen I don't love because it's a little bit campy. And so this edition to me is so perfect. It like has the castle. I love it so much, and I really am just so excited to read it again in my adult age and soak it all in. All right, and then I got two other classics. So some of y'all will have seen that I am reading The Great Gatsby right now. Again, that's another one I read when I was young and I'm rereading it. I am loving it. I'm taking my time with it. It is such a short book, but I am savoring that like a dessert, the tastiest, just most delicious dessert you can get at a restaurant. And I love it so much. I love F. Scott Fitzgerald's writing. And so because I got that in the Signature Classics edition, I wanted to get the other ones that were available by him. So I had a matching set. And the first one is The Beautiful and Damned, which you guys, how pretty is that? It's so pretty. They know what they're doing with these signature classics. And then this side of paradise. And I actually do not know a whole lot about these books, but part of me wants to keep it that way. Again, I just really love Scott Fitzgerald's writing so far. It's very introspective and lovely. The way he describes settings, particularly houses and buildings and just the infrastructure of certain things, is like nothing I've ever read before. So these are really pretty and I'm excited to have them. Okay, and then the last two books I got were a couple of literary fictions, and one of them is a book I've wanted to read for a very long time, and I finally have it. The other one was an impulse buy, and I've never heard of it before, but the first one is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. And this is the one where I've known about it for quite a few years now, and I've wanted to read it for some time. I know that this book is likely going to make me feel all the things, and so I really have been waiting for a time when I can just soak it all in. This is not a long book. It is 170-ish pages, but for those of you who don't know, let me tell you what it is about. So it says, deep underground, 39 women lived imprisoned in a cage. Watched over by guards, the women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only a vague recollection of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night and numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above ground. So very interesting. And y'all, this was published in 1995. I did not know that. This book definitely has made a resurgence, which it's so fantastic the times we live in sometimes. Sometimes there's bad things about it, but it is quite amazing that books that were published a long time ago, or even music that was created a long time ago, any artistic form can be enjoyed by current younger generations and made anew. So I really love that that is the case. And I am very excited to share my thoughts about this one and see what it's all about. Okay, and the last one I got, which I love this cover. I think it is so gorgeous. It is Perfection by Vincenzo Latronico. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I believe this is a translated work. Yes, so it says it is his first book to be translated into English, which is so nice. And I thought the plot sounded so interesting. So this was published in 2022, and it was shortlisted for the 2025 International Booker Prize, which is lovely. So let me fill you in on what the synopsis says. It sounds so good. It says, Anna and Tom, an expat couple, have fashioned a dream life for themselves in Berlin. They are young digital creatives exploring the excitements of the city, freelancers without too many constraints who spend their free time cultivating houseplants and their images online. At first, they reasonably deduce that they've turned their passion for aesthetics into a viable, even enviable career. But the years go by and Anna and Tom grow bored. As their friends move back home or move on, so their own work and sex life and the life of Berlin itself begin to lose their luster. An attempt to put their politics into action fizzles in embarrassed self-doubt. Edging closer to 40, they try living as digital nomads, only to discover that wherever they go, the brand of oat milk in their flat whites was the same. Perfection is a scathing novel about contemporary existence, a tale of two people gradually waking up to find themselves in various traps, wondering how it all came to be. Was it a lack of foresight, or were they just born too late? So this is clearly going to be a very character-centered novel, and there's nothing I love more about lit fic than just feeling like you're inside someone's dialogue, inside someone's head, and it really sounds like it's gonna be a narrative about a person in their 30s and 40s living in today's digital age, which is gonna be super interesting, and I love that it's gonna be set in Berlin. Again, this one's 124 pages, so it's a lovely little short book, and I'm so excited to have it. I think it's so beautiful, so minimalistic, and I'm very excited to read it. All right, so that is it for today's Barnes & Noble trip. Thank you for coming along with me, and I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if there are any reads right now that you are just over the moon about, you're hooked. I want to know, put them in the comments. And if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe so we can hang out some more in future videos. All right, I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.